Hello, we are Sornia. It is a pleasure to have this opportunity to share and engage with you, exchange ideas, exchange our energies, allow ourselves to relax a moment and to be aware of our state of being, that state of being of the divine, of the essence that you are. So as you listen to this, or prior to listening to our messages, it would be advisable that you center yourself. If you're not already, center yourself with some deep breaths beforehand and focus within. We have been we would say for a very long time now, we have been guiding you, giving you direction to find your space within, to find your own unique space within. And each of you has accomplished quite a bit in regards to that. You are in touch with that space within, that essence that you are. You are aware that you have a consciousness that is within and without, that it permeates all the cells of your being, as well as your consciousness has the capability of interacting outside of that physical form. Remember, when we speak of the physical form, we are speaking of all of the physical form, the physical, what you actually see, and also the etheric forms, your subtle bodies. In this session, we will define it if it's not, we'll be specific if it's not that and it's just your physical form. So the necessity that you have to know yourselves in this way is now reached the point of you either do it, and so let's say you're at a fork in the road. Once again, this will be continually until you're done. So you're at another fork in the road. Some of you will stay here. This is as far as you will be able to bring yourselves or feel comfortable bringing your awareness or understanding your space within. This will be the ultimate, where you are at right now. And a lot of you, probably most of you that are hearing this, aren't satisfied with that level of knowledge. You're ready for more. And the next phase of what you will be entering is the phase of learning about the power of creation, yourselves as creators. We've mentioned this throughout different times with you, but we're hoping as we share our knowledge with you that you will be able to use this information to deepen your awareness and understanding of the creative process, your own creative process. You see, you don't have to do this. You know that. You could stay where you're at and things will be fine for you where you're at. You're in a good place, but you haven't reached, well, there really is never an end, but you haven't reached what you are capable of reaching in regards to knowing your own essence, knowing who you are in that regard, and then using your own power of the mind, and that's that spiritual mind, to create your reality. This is the next step, to get that understanding so that it is your way of living. And in order to do that, you've all been presented with different challenges, life challenges and life experiences, which will influence you, or you might say force you to make decisions to go deeper. So some of you will maybe, if you're dealing with an illness, your illness will get worse. It's not gotten worse because you're not doing what you are supposed to be doing, you're missing something or none of that. It's getting worse because you are focusing on the actual energy of, we'll just use disease, but you can use it in any area. Some of you don't have any ailments, but we'll use disease. You've been focusing on, which we told you to do, focusing on the energy of these various diseases or disharmony within your physical body, to focus them, understand them, kind of break them down in a way that you know what they mean for you. It's important that you do that, but because of the nature of creation, some of you, in the process of focusing on the understanding as best you can how you created certain scenarios and certain experiences in your life, and you've done such a good job at it that they have manifested in greater degree than before. So you might be thinking, well, now look at me. I was better off before when I didn't know anything, and now look at me. I've got more problems, or I'm sicker, or I have less money than I had before. Whatever your issue is, things may look worse, but this is a perfect example for you to understand how we've talked about this. What you focus on is what you create, right? So if this hasn't happened with you, you can listen to this message calmly and see if any of it applies. But this is definitely a message for those who have gone into that place of looking to understand and looking at it being whatever it is that is causing you to not live in harmony, that dysfunction, that disease. When you've looked at it, this has caused it to increase, to magnify. Now that you know what it means, and you don't need to know all the details, you don't need to know the origins of it, you can kind of surmise. You want to get out of that pattern of thinking. I have this feeling, or I respond in this way, or I have this phobia, or these are the things I like because this person did this for me, or that person did that to me, and so on. You want to get beyond that thinking. That's going to be tough for some of you, but necessary to get to that next place of being able to create, having more of a clean slate to create unbiased and just an open way of creating your reality, not with all the entanglements attached to it. So the next step that we would say and given whatever your circumstances are that you're looking to understand and to no longer experience. So say you have some sort of, illness seems to be the top one, something that most of you go outside of yourselves for answers. The majority of your population will go to someone else for advice and guidance when you become ill, especially when you have a serious illness. We're not saying to not do that by any means. One must do what one feels comfortable doing. But you are at the point where you can, should you so choose, to not go external to anyone, but to stay within your own self to find the answer and to heal your own disease or disharmony or relationship that needs help. Any number of things. We use disease because that is so prominent, but there are so many other life experiences that you have created that are not just of the physical form. But because there's been much creation with the physical form, your planet is permeated with this, especially in your westernized countries. So, what am I getting at here? What are we as Sornia getting at here? In order for you to truly free yourself entirely and claim and be that essence of eternal divinity that you are, you have to, in a sense, would not be pure, but you cannot have attachments that will tether you to earth and earth's conditions. So it's of vital importance for those that are ready that they now take those steps in understanding that whatever dysfunction or lack of harmony they have within their system, whether it be physical, emotional, that it's now in your hands to rise above it is the best thing, to get that bird's eye view. See, you're inundated continually, and it's very insidious in the way it's done, but you are inundated with messages of fear. There's a lot you don't hear and see because that's how tricky and clever those that want to keep you in a certain vibration of fear and distrust. That's how they work. They work in the shadows. They don't work out in the open, although they're working out in the open more so you get better clarity on really what's happening. But so many of you that listen to us are also very much aware of your health choices in terms of food, in terms of what you drink, in terms of the air you breathe. These things are important to you, and you will see things. Let's use your chemtrails. You'll see that, and you will feel immediately threatened by the danger of that chemtrail. Now, from the perspective of a human being having a human experience and just the physical form, yes, that chemtrail can harm you, as can many things. Drinking plastic, too much plastic in your world, or smoking cigarettes, or eating too much sugar, You have a multitude of taboo foods or such that contribute to someone who is on a path like you to be cautious, aware, and afraid to even touch that, anything that might be remotely damaging to you. And therefore, your vision of that, going back to you being creator, if you could stop and look at it. So say you know sugar is bad for you. That's what you believe. You know sugar is bad for you, but you love sugar. And you look at it as being bad for you, and yet you still eat the sugar. And it could be anything. And this may be subconscious for you, but what we're telling you to do is to not to stop eating the sugar, but to be observant of yourselves. And we're using just sugar in this case as an example. What is it doing for you? What is it feeding in you? How are you being nurtured by this sugar? Not just in the physical, but in the emotional. Watch the process. And is there joy attached to it? Or is it just habitual? What is it? We could give you a multitude of emotions that trigger one to eat something that they consider to be bad for them. We're not saying that these things are bad for you or good for you. And again, this would go contrary to what many believe. But we don't see you all as staying at this level that you're at in your awareness, in your consciousness. We see you moving forward, growing out of that need to even look at elements that are part of your daily life as being threatening, even if they are threatening. You are training yourselves to be able to walk through any dangerous situation or experience any dangerous situation and not have it harm you because of your ability to understand who you really are as an eternal being. This is the crossroads here. We've talked a lot about this. We've gone together, all of us gone together to a certain point. And that you all understand this, but you're not all yet capable of living it. So the next period of time, the way we will be working with you, with the energies, is to encourage you to look at the situations in your life that we've just been talking about, whether it be the chemtrails or the cigarette or laying around too much, whatever you feel is detrimental to your physical form, that also influences the emotional form. All of that, looking at it, get clear on what you feel about it. When you see a chemtrail, what does that do to you? How does that make you feel? Record that. Remove the emotion. Just be the observer. Remove the emotion. If you're able to do that, then ask, okay, how is this a part of my experience? Does it need to be a part of my experience? Show me something better. Show me something better. That's the important thing. The more of you that do this, the less likely the majority of the population will even be affected by the environment in that way. It's that point that we're at. And this is where, as we go forward, where all of you will be called upon to do your duty and to do what you came here to do, and that is to work for the betterment of everyone by working and taking care of yourself first. It's an important time. So if you are feeling agitated, if you're having an increase of any kind of ailment, physical or emotional, know that that is happening, that you have created that scenario in order to give yourself the opportunity to experience it, be told the message that you were just told, how you created it to this degree, so that you can make a choice. You're going to stay with that situation and let it play out as that situation. So as, say, you have a disease that's going to debilitate you and put you in a wheelchair, and you say, this is as far as I can go. I can't go any farther. And then the outcome is the wheelchair for you, and that's fine. You went as far as you could. But that crossroads, the fork in the road, right? Not the crossroads, the fork in the road. Most of you will go to the other and say, no, I don't want that. What I want is to free myself from all of that. And that's what we're here to help you with. We've been giving you practices and meditations to support your inner work. We will continue to do that. For now, we want that you take your understanding of where you're at. It's really important for you today, tomorrow, the next day, to be as calm as you can. Take your time to be with you. Make note of what you are feeling and what you are thinking, and where are you at right now? What are the thoughts that are going through your head? And then see how you have created a reality outside of you that matches those thoughts. I know you've done this before, but you got to do it. You got to go deeper in order to release yourself fully from what you really don't want. And in order to do that, you have to understand what you're doing. So take that time, and when you discover the thread, the common thread, then you make yourself some sort of affirmation or statement or whatever you want to call it, a mantra that is contrary to that limiting belief that you are seeing in yourself. And that's how you'll shift that attention and shift your energy to move into that creative flow of a higher vibration, higher frequency, which is where you want to go. You must do it. We don't want to come here and berate you, but a lot of you aren't doing it. A lot of you are being casual about it. Well, it's, this, or it's the other thing, or I'm too busy. And it's fine. We see that you are busy. We see that there's a lot that goes on in your lives. All of that is choice also. So we don't want to lose anyone on this path or leave anyone behind. So the more that you are able to anchor yourself in these truths that we just spoke of, that you know about yourself, the easier it is for those that are settling for less to be inspired. Something to keep in mind, because you are all one, and this is how you will all grow is together. We hope this helped you. It will be a beautiful, beautiful experience when you fully grasp how much you are the master of your own destiny. You'll love it. You really will, because you'll understand it. Right now, most of you say, yes, I know this is true, or I have such hope for it to be true, but you don't have it. You haven't been able to experience it fully, but you will. You will. That is all for now. We are Sornia. We love you very much. Goodbye.